you want to see the other god I worked on?
Absolutely.
I think his name is Hephaestus. I don't know how to say the name properly.
It's okay. We got you on the main camera.
Okay, let me flip this camera. Let me flip this. Give me a second.
Yeah, we're just looking at your beard and your ceiling right now. Yeah, we were trying to get Paris to come on. Paris couldn't make it. Oh, this looks good. With which character?
That's Hephaestus, right?
Yeah, Hephaestus. Yeah.
Yeah, Hephaestus.
One leg's going to be skinnier than the other one.
Yeah, the spelling is always odd, but Hephaestus is Hephaestus.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
The forger, the blacksmith, the guy who makes shit.
Yeah.
He can make
Why
anything.
Why you got one leg thinner?
Because he has a polio.
He limps. Yeah, he's got
yeah. He's not
there's
polio.
some story that I don't remember about Zeus hurling him from Olympus or something when he was an infant. So he's semi-crippled. And he's married to Aphrodite, and she's having an affair with Ares. That's always the dynamic.
I like that. It's like Dynasty in the ancient world.
I didn't make that up. That's the dynamic in the mythology.
Yeah.
He's Aphrodite's husband, and Ares is her lover.
No, I think it was great. I mean, I liked how Jack Kirby took his concept of the gods when he went to DC and then came out with the new gods, and then he goes back to Marvel, and then he comes up with the Eternals, but basically it's the same shit. It's like Kirby was this synthesizer machine. Pop culture went in and comes out. He sees Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston, and out comes Commandy. Commandy, yeah. And there's literally lines from that movie that was in the comic book. I had me cracking up. And people are like, "This is terrible." I was like, this is fantastic. What are you talking about?
He's this great machine that you pour all this stuff in, and this great stuff comes out.
Yeah, I heard that there's some of that coming in a TV show soon. Machine Man is going to come on a TV show.
Real quick, I'm redeveloping the leg right now.
Yeah.
And my editing suggestions, Ray.
What's
editing?
Editing. What editing suggestions?
You do have. He does have a thick leg on one of the panels.
Yeah, he has one thick leg and one thin leg. Yeah.
And make sure it's always the same leg that's
He has two thick legs. He has two thick legs in one of the panels, and in another panel he has one thin leg, one thick leg.
That nobody remembers that. They're reading the comic book.
but yeah.
So I'm saying the leg right now.
Going forward, decide which leg is crippled and make sure it always is.
Right. We'll just we'll do like what George Lucas did. We'll do like the special edition, and I'll just go back in and Photoshop and make one leg skinnier. But he does have one leg skinny.
I just did it. I just did it right now.
All right, good.
If and when we do a collected edition, when you do going forward with the second and from there on, that criticism that the guy gave me like 2 years ago was spot on about the coloring. That everything in the supernatural godly world is vivid, saturated colors.
Yeah.
But when we're in New York in the 1980s, it should be dingy.
Yeah.
It should be kind of muted colors and more grays and
that's a good idea.
It should be dirty Manhattan in 1983.
Yeah.
So
good idea.
And that really
saturation.
So if
the colors are all on Ray.
Well, I
have nothing to do with that.
When we do the collected edition, if we do, maybe the first issue gets recolored to match everything.
I could readjust that. Yeah. Just to clarify that there's two different worlds and two different.
Right, and it's really mostly the saturation, right?
It's all saturation. Yeah. That's easy. That's an easy fix because nothing's flat. Everything's on layers. So, like I'm an edit nut. So my Photoshop layers are like usually You have like 50 layers of different colors because I'll take portions and pieces and break it up.
Do you want any flatting work?
What's that?
Could you do flatting work?
Mm-hmm.
Could you be a flatter?
Like flat colors and stuff like that?
The flats that go under the finished art.
I don't do that anymore.
In mainstream, in Marvel DC now, coloring has suddenly become like the highest paid person is the colorist now.
That's true. Yeah.
And now there are tiers of colorists where in the process there's somebody called a flatter.
Yeah,
who just does the flats.
Yeah.
And then the colorist
goes on top
does the layers on top of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm doing a project now with some guys where the guy who's doing the colors said he could use a flatter. And
give him a number.
Like paid gig.
Yeah, give him my
not a lot.
I'll do it.
$15, $20 a page.
That's not bad.
Flats.
Yeah. I had this guy Dan Necrosis did my flats for the Trumpland book on for the heavy traffic story.
Okay.
But yeah, the flats are so weird the way that people color them because they're not your traditional colors you think they would be. Like they'll put like what I'd like to describe as vomit colors.
That's what it looks like.
The whole purpose of that is for them so that you don't see gaps in the coloring.
Okay.
But since I usually color my own stuff, the Trumpland Project, which is the last book that I actually colored, was I had 4 colorists under me. So I was managing 4 colorists, and a lot of them were really good. But the trick was to make them cohesive, that you didn't feel like you were looking at 4 different colorists every other page.
Okay.
So I was the finisher on all their colors and made sure that everything was consistent,
So, what's the arrangement now with you and Chris? Is Chris co-artist now?
Yeah, he's gonna be co-artist. Yeah.
Good. So you get the credit too, and the cover. Okay. Good.
Yeah. And Chris, I'd say Chris do the layouts. It looks like Chris is doing finished pages. So it's like.
See, Chris, when you reached out to me on Facebook,
right,
Chris.
Yeah, I'm listening.
When you reached out to me on Facebook, I wanted to say, yeah. This sounds like a great idea. I'd love to have you aboard, but I had to turn it to Ray.
Yeah.
And it had to be Ray's.
Well, I told him about it. Now I'm missing something, but I told him about it. I was like, I just wanted you to take a look at, the idea of, I'm trying to go a lot from Ray's initial input. And if you notice, we're both 2 different artists. And I have a different sense of when it comes to drawing. I draw the Marvel way. I've always been doing that for years, and I'm just getting better as I'm getting older and losing my hands.
I draw the Crumb way. It's like Robert Crumb. It's like
Ray has an underground influence.
Yeah. So, working from Ray's artwork, I'm like, I just look at it like working from his artwork, I could advance on it from it.
Sorry, that's my sister. Video chat with me because you want to join the conversation.
So that's what I'm trying to develop. So anything that you see that's different, I would say, if you go, okay, is that Zeus? Is that that character? You got to change your mind thought and just think of Marvel. But it's close. It's going to follow the same standard that, what you're writing.
Okay.
I have a different, I'm trying to find a page now.
And
Chris is just trying to say very plainly that he's the better artist.
No, I didn't say that.
Whether that's the case or not, we do want some visual consistency from issue to issue.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm
going to be like
I'm gonna explain something to you.
Say again?
I mean, let me put it to you this way. If you look at what's his name? The guy that helped in. Give me 1 second. I can find out information.
I was saying,
I think his name is Tony Moore.
Tony Moore, right?
Tony
Okay.
Moore that did the Walking Dead. He did the first 12 issues of the Walking Dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you had another artist came on board, and the rest of the issues all the way to the last issue. There's not a consistency.
Right.
But this is going to be one
tell,
book. This will end up being one book.
No, we could tell what artist is what artist.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is that we could tell what character is this character.
Mm-hmm.
That is, as long as you have those symbols of what the character is, you know who they are. Even though the first artist to me was the best artist in that book. Ackler, when he took over, he was very crude when he took over. It was like, what the hell am I reading? Okay, now I'm reading it just for the story only, and I just want to know the story. But then as time went on, Adler started getting better and better and better. And like today, when I look at the guy and his artwork, I go like this: wow, he went from his first 3 years of just being
same artist in the same book. Same artist is on the same. No,
no.
So,
Adler and Moore. Moore did the
first 12.
Moore did the introduction.
Yeah,
I realized something, and I don't know who all is watching us, but what's happening here is we're behaving, and it's fine. We're behaving as if there is no audience, and we're having a story conference and a creative conference.
Yeah.
Well, the audience. I mean, if we have an audience out there, and I'm going to put it out there for that audience, is that when you're looking at, you can look at a big difference between individual artists as far as storytelling. You got some artists that see storytelling as watching a movie.
Right.
You got a storytelling artist that will tell a story just like if it was a Spielberg film, and then you got somebody else to tell a story like if it's
and so we're having a story conference and a creative conference.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the audience. I mean, hold on, we're getting a backwash.
Feedback. That's all right. Go ahead.
And then we get somebody else that is somebody like the guy that directed Bad Boys, I guess. I forgot the director's name. So, but the thing about it is this, is that if you still have that character sense, if you could tell the story, that's the object of the whole thing.
Right.
And if there is anybody watching,
we have 2 people. We have 2 people watching right now.
Okay, well, what they're seeing is the creative process in action as a team comes together and hashes out what a project is going to be.
Exactly.
This is the way we do it, folks.
This is the way. I'll
tell you this. I'll tell you this. At the beginning of your script, you wrote into that sort of like an older priest is riding his bicycle up to this church that's in the mountains.
Yes.
So what I came up with is I got my panels already set.
Okay.
But the thing is that you don't see the priest. You see the bicycle, you see the movement,
right?
From the first and second panel, and you just see the eyes of the priest, and then you see the church.
Right.
Okay.
So it's sort of like bringing up the tension to the point where you're going, okay, the church is the object.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's also, keep in mind though, Chris, part of it is misdirection, because what the reader wants to see, what I want the reader to see first is something very ordinary and mundane.
Mm-hmm.
This ordinary priest, country priest, Greek Orthodox priest, not Catholic, who is just doing his daily thing, going up to his church to tend the church, and then, holy shit, there's a temple of Zeus back in the mountain behind the church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the reason I have that of, Father Christos pedaling his bicycle is because it wants to feel like the most ordinary thing
Like
in
an
the
Italian movie. Yeah.
world. You're like an Italian movie, right? And then there's this, one page of that, and then the splashes, boom, whether it's pages 2 and 3 or whether it's 4 and 5, depending on the layout. But that's the splash, and it's this double page of Temple of Zeus.
Right.
And the reader realizes these guys are just fronting as Orthodox priests, as Greek Christian priests, because what they really are.
I hate wearing these things, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to put them. I don't want to put any on. I got some, but I don't want to put them on. But
so that's the visual. That's the first deception.
So I mean that could be worked out. That could be worked out. But I mean,
that makes sense.
You don't see the introduction of the gods as a splash page?
Yes. There's the temple, and boom, here they show up. But we start with a quiet scene one morning in Greece.
Right.
Just an ordinary priest. But then we go back into the ordinary church, and then there's a secret door, and then there's caverns and these big doors. We open it up, there's lightning flashing, and then so maybe it's page 1 is the priest, number of panels, the priest going up and going into his church. Page 2 is the other priest saying, "You must come," and then page 3 is them going through the cavern, and then a fairly large panel when they open the door and there's lightning, and we get a first glimpse of the interior of the Temple of Zeus, and then page 4 and 5 is the double page spread of the entire temple with the big statue of Zeus and the lightning flashing, and there are the gods in the lightning. Yes. And then when we go on, the lightning is past, and now the gods are here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. That's great.
I have done a lot of page by page, panel by panel, full script comics. So I do understand the pacing of these scenes and how I see them, but I prefer to do Marvel style because, like I said, there's the back and forth. But talking it through like this is useful too. So
this is fun. We have a few more people saying hello. Thomas says hi, guys. Sebastian Abone says what's up, guys. And Anthony Morales, also known as Hank, says I need a Bronx Heroes t-shirt.
So, you got 3 possibilities, right?
Right. So,
this is my favorite. I really like this.
That was my favorite too. Yeah. And then we have the hoodie back here with the.
Oh, you guys send me a hoodie.
There's a hoodie here. But I haven't made them in actually almost 7 years. I have to make more. This one here. So this is the hoodie. And he's still not our mannequin here. He's still not used to being post-COVID because he's like not wearing any pants. So he's I've
got a story about doing full scripts. When I started out, and I was writing full scripts for the stuff in the mystery magazines like Unexpected and House of Secrets, those were full scripts. And and when I was doing backups, I did a couple of backup series, and those were full scripts. And I was a kid, I was full of myself, and I would include in my kind of stick figure and vaguely cartoonish stuff, thumbnails of pages with suggested panel layouts.
Right.
And I always knew that artists had a better visual sense, and they would take my panel suggestions just as suggestions and turn it into something really good.
Right.
And then I was doing a series, shall remain nameless, that I did 7 or 8 installments of an established character as the backup in another book, and a very famous old line golden age artist was the artist.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And
spill the beans, Barry. Tell us, who was it?
And I was very because I was very excited to get him, and his final art was very nice, except he was exactly using my layouts. And we finally had a discussion about it. I said, you're a better artist than I am.
Right. I just had a conversation.
I believe in your ability to create a better layout than what I did. I'm just giving you kind of a suggestion to go along with the script, because I've written the script panel by panel, and here's a little grid with the same number of panels, so that you know where to place everything. But I don't want you to draw my awful little cartoons in your better style.
Right. And, I just had a conversation with an artist about that just last week. I have a tendency to give artists thumbnails,
that's what I was doing. Yeah.
Of what I see. And sometimes I'll do like a full 8x10 thumbnail, but very rough. And this one artist was like, "Oh, I'll just draw it like this." And I was like, "No, I don't want you to draw it like that."
Right.
Because if you draw it like this, I could draw it. Like I can draw it. It's like I'm an artist. I can draw. I don't have to pay you. It's like it's like you want to. I'm just kind of giving them the idea because they are. I'm not a dynamic artist at all. My artist is very flat 2D, like an Egyptian hieroglyphic wall. But it's always good to have a visual, just in my mind, so that the artist can see something, to try to give them that environment or that that scene. And then like Chris is great at that. I could give him some chicken scratch on a postcard and he'll render it into this beautiful thing.
Chris, could you send me a couple of pages of stuff that you've done that you think is like your good stuff?
Xenoscope
work, right? The thing that he did for Xenoscope and this other company.
The stuff I did for Xenoscope, I gotta find. But there was me and Alex Rivera. We did a job for Xenoscope, and I was basically the artist not credited.
Okay.
The regular artist for the job, he lived out in Italy, and he would just send out this simple bodies. He would do the faces, and the bodies were just done. He'll send like 1 or 2 pages had what they were wearing, and everything else was just missing.
Okay.
So
you had to dress the characters.
Yeah. So what I did is that Alex, he doesn't draw. So he inks, but he doesn't draw. So what he asked me to do is complete the pages.
Right.
So I took 3 days off of work and worked on basically a whole issue of going over this guy's artwork and made it look like he did it. I put the clothes on. I did all the anatomy. I did the background. There was a hospital bed scene that the bed wasn't even drawn out. I've been in hospitals many times being a diabetic. So I already had the reference in my head how the hospital bed should be. And I did it, and it came out pretty good. But I have to look for the comic. I got a couple downstairs in the basement, but I'm not going to go downstairs in the basement in the garage right now.
No. But Ray will give you my email address. That way we can all be linked. And just send me some copies of. So because if
You can just throw the faces on my layouts there,
well,
Chris.
here's part of the reason. I'm not sure how the two of you are going to be working on this, but if Chris is going to be doing the lion's share of the art, then I'm going to start to be writing with Chris's style in mind.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let me give you an idea. Okay.
We'll see how far he goes. He always starts running real fast, and then somewhere around the middle, so jogging. So let's see how it goes.
That's because when I'm not working, when I'm home, But let me just show you what I did really quick because Ray's seen this already.
Okay.
And
Is
you're already
Hermes?
telling me
Talking about running. Yeah, Hermes over here.
So I'm gonna just show you real quick. My phone is about to go dead. Let me just show you real quick. Everybody can see this really quick.
I see your ceiling. We're gonna get like Sistine Chapel drawings on the ceiling in there. He's like, shut up.
I wish it was.
Flip that phone. We just see your face.
You're frozen again. Oh, okay.
That looks good. See, that looks like a finished page. That doesn't look like a layout.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't know if you can see this real quick.
Yeah, it looks good. I like that. That's a nice angle shot. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Shoes.
Yeah. The other priest meeting him outside, and you got all this wind blowing and leaves moving everywhere, and he calls out to the father, and I'll take this off. So
is this William? Is this William Dafoe as a priest?
Honestly, I'm not sure what a Greek Orthodox country priest wears, but crucifixes are a part of it for sure. So easy enough. We've got the magic of Google search to find reference for what a.
Yeah, I could do that, but I was just doing this. Yeah. This time I was just laid up, and I was.
That's pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on how far you want to go, but you have different. I
can always put a hat on him, Put a hat on him.
They have hats. They have hats. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And the thing about it is that I was just doing this really quick. The younger priest, he's balding. It reminds me of the guy from the guy that played the owl in
The Watchmen.
In The Watchmen, I was just thinking about him, and I was just messing around. I like to play with camera angles. I'm a very camera guy. I'm not.
He's not a flat artist like me.
Okay.
I'm not a flat artist. I actually bugged Paris a couple of years back about how does he do his paneling and stuff, and he was telling me all this ideas that he comes up with when he's drawing. He's like, he reads the script and he'll think about a camera angle, and he says sometimes the writer doesn't even have the way he wants to panel, but he puts it down and gets it out the way he sees it in his head. And that's sort of what I get ideas of. I try to think of weather and already before you even said lightning going around and all this other stuff, I was thinking that when these guys meet up, that there's lightning going on and there's a lot of wind.
No, it's a beautiful day outside.
But it looks nice.
Beautiful day. The lightning is inside.
Inside.
The lightning is in the temple. Inside the mountain.
Right. Inside the mountain. Yeah. It's almost like you're entering another dimension type of thing. Right.
Yeah.
It's the last great temple of Zeus intact in the world. Mm-hmm. And it's been preserved, hidden behind this Christian church deep in the mountain for 2,000 years.
Mhm.
And for 2,000 years, they've secretly worshipped the Greek gods while fronting that they are Christian priests and Christian church. Yeah. And they do everything. They are Christian priests and Christian church in their practice, but then they go into the back and they're really the priests of Zeus. And not only that, but they have invested wealth for 2,000 years, which is why Zeus is so insanely rich when he gets to Earth, because they've built this immense secret fortune in anticipation of the day that the gods come back.
Right.
And now they have.
Right. This is a funny comment someone threw in here.
Olympian
want to become famous by followers. It's like, what is this? Are you two listening to what we've been saying? It's like,
who wrote that?
This guy is UJ Lent B137. It's like, are you listening to what we've been saying all this time?
UJ Lent, long ago, for a very short time, in a little tiny subculture, I was kind of famous. So I've been there, done that.
Yeah, and I'm just notorious.
Well, you are notorious.
That's great. All right. Let's not stretch this out too long. Let's end this broadcast, as we've been talking for an hour and a half. We can continue this conversation behind the camera. But thank you guys for joining. Stick around. Don't hang up. We're going to end this broadcast, and we could talk more about other things that we don't want people to know about. Coming to this.
The secret stuff.
The secret stuff.
Our secret Zeus worship.
So we're going to do a Kickstarter for this. We're going to do a Kickstarter to raise money so people can get the first issue of Nemesis, Daughter of Night, and we'll use those funds to build up the second issue,
because we already have it.
Because we already have it. That's right.
That's my big fear with a Kickstarter is I never want to promise something I can't deliver on.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with issue 1, which
so we got issue 1, and we could do poster 2. We've got.
I have posters of the cover.
And that's a poster.
Yeah,
right?
we have posters of that. Did I ever give you posters of that?
Yes, that one.
Okay, I have a few. Yeah.
In fact, I've got the banner.
Oh, you got that's an awesome banner. I need to make another one of those.
There's a guy at every VA Comic-Con who works the VA Comic-Con, and up until COVID stuff shut it down. But at every VA Comic-Con, he would come up and he'd say, when you're done with that, if you ever want to sell it, I want that thing. And
you can sell it. I'll make another one. I think it only costs like $100 and something, so you could sell it for like $500.
I love that thing, and it does get attention.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you want to, if you can make a market out of selling them and signing them, then we'll just keep cranking out banners for people to.
But yeah,
let's talk about this stuff offline.
Yeah, all right,
let's go offline.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, we went 39 minutes over, but that's okay. That we were having fun. It was great. So here we go. We're going to sign out. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode. Oh, and I almost forgot. Gary, where can we find your stuff? If people want to, read some of your books.
Demon Gun. Go to the Demon Gun page on Facebook.
Demon Gun page on Facebook.
Demon Gun.
Demon Gun
on
Facebook. There we go. There we have it. All right. We'll resume that. And we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.